Hello everyone! This is just going to be a little mini update because, hey, look, the Warriors website has made a little game, and I've already looked at this a little bit, but I just wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit here on the channel. Let you guys know that this is now up on the website, so you should go check it out at warriorcats.com/CatMaker. They now have a little mini game where you can make a minifig, like the little minifigs that have come out recently on the website, of your characters or of other warrior cats you'd like to see. And let's look at it. I've got some thoughts, but I wanted to talk about it in video format because there's just a lot on my mind when it comes to this. First off, I think the idea of the Warriors website putting together this is essentially a little flash game where you can build from a base and make your own OC. I think this is a great idea for a flash game, but I do have a few issues with it. So that's kind of what I want to take a look at today. So here we start off and we get to choose our pose. The two poses are based off of the same poses that are the minifig. I do wish there was another option for maybe a longer furred cat. Something so that you had the short fur, the medium fur, and then maybe a long fur would be really nice. I've actually compiled a list of 10 cats that I'm going to do here today. Just to kind of see the range of how well this little mini game is able to create OCs or create canon characters. So the first 5 I'm going to do are going to be 5 OCs from Clouded Moon, and then the second 5 that I'm going to do are going to be random canon warrior cats. So I'm going to see how this game does with trying to adapt, my own personal designs. And then I'm going to see how well it works for if you're trying to create a warrior cat that's already in the books. And I thought that would be a good range of seeing how far this thing can go. So first, starting off with the first random cat I just put these in a randomizer so that it was fair and I wasn't trying to choose something that was totally impossible for this thing to do. So the first random cat OC that this one gave me was my OC Lilyfire from Wind Clan. The website has going through this bit by bit, website has a hue slider, which I actually like that quite a bit, and then a saturation slider, which I think is nice. I'm glad that they give you all the colors you want, so if you wanted to do something crazy, you could. That's fun to have that open, and have it not just be a set number of color palettes. And then we move on to this next tab, which looks like grass, but it's not grass, it's stripes. Stripe patterns you can put on the character. Lilyfire doesn't really have stripes, but let's go ahead and look at these. This is getting into my first biggest problem with this little mini game, is that we've got 6 options for stripes, and they're all stripy cats, but none of these options allow us to make the character a color and white, molted cat, a calico, anything that isn't a basic one color cat or a tabby cat can't really be made in this. And you can kind of cheat the system a little bit with some of their options, but this just doesn't lead to a whole lot of flexibility for what kind of characters you can create with this. So Lilyfire's orange, and doesn't really have stripes, so we'll leave her at that. And then we get to different ear picks. This symbol for the ears, super clear, that's easy to understand. I'm just sad that 5 options here, but they're all basically the same thing. It's nice to have a couple of different options for scars, but if you're looking for different options for just plain old ears, you've got this one, and this one, which are all basically the same thing. And considering we aren't like printing these minifigs into physical things that you can buy, it seems silly not to make this Flash game a bit more versatile in like, maybe one of these, the ears are small, maybe the other ones, the ears are bigger, and maybe they have like fluff sticking out of them, you know. There's a lot more like options and customizable stuff they could have done here that would have been nice to see. And again, there's these little arrows that you can push, but they don't give you more options, which is, it feels like they just need to be squished a little bit so you don't have to have these arrows here at all. I can also change the ear color. I'm kind of going off of the top of my head for remembering what Lilyfire looks like, but I think she's got red inside her ears. So that seems accurate as far as ears go, I guess. And then we have eyes. And you can probably already guess my criticism right here. We again, oh, yeah, we've got these arrows that lead us nowhere. And we have 6 eyes that are all essentially the exact same thing, except one is blind because J-Feather. I don't even, like, how do I pick? They're all the same, essentially. I guess we'll go with the hooded look. As far as the graphics for this thing go, I do want to say that looks very nice. I like the presentation here. In the UI, except for a couple of areas, is really clean. Like, this is really easy to do, so that's really nice. And then we've got mouth, which really is just choosing how many whisker freckles you want to give the character. In my case, for my own art, I don't tend to put whisker freckles on characters at all. At least very, very rarely. And I do find it disappointing that 2 of these options are just one flipped on, like, the y-axis or whatever. Like, this is just the same thing but flipped. Come on, you could have done something else. Like, maybe even give the character whiskers, or these mouth shapes could have been like, maybe move the mouth up and down a little bit, or maybe make the nose a little bigger or smaller, you know. It feels silly to have this option even when there's so few options. Give Lilyfire bright pink nose, that's cute. The symbol is very similar to how you see the nose, which is kind of confusing. So I don't really like the iconography for these 2 tabs, because then you look at this and I look at it, and until I click on it, I'm not really sure what this is supposed to do. In fact, if I look at this one, it feels like I'm giving my cat a mustache, which I would love to do, but I'm confused why it's here. And this one just looks like a big beard, so but if you put it on, then you get the idea of what they're going for. So yeah, you can add an undercolor, and you can change this color all you want, which can get you some funny results. I like the option that it has. I wish that this was also connected to this lighter chest fluff that they have going on here in the front, and that you could use this slider to adjust to that as well. That would just, again, give you a little bit more freedom. And instead of having it just affect the face, it'd be nice, yet again, if there was an option. So, like, maybe you could put patches on a pelt, or, you know, maybe give the character white paws, or like a white tail tip, or, you know, maybe white tipped ears. You know, stuff that a lot of Flash creators like this would do. So Lilyfire definitely does not have a blue beard, although I will definitely keep that in mind for a character in the future, because that's pretty awesome. And then we have scars, and scars you do actually need to use the arrow sliders for, because there actually are quite a fair amount of options, which is great. This is one area that I think is really nice. However, I do have one complaint with this as well. Let's just go ahead and throw all the scars on here so that you can see what I mean. Give Lily Fire all the battle scars. She's been through a war. Alright. So there's all these scars. However, as you can see, there's a bit of a problem with the fact that the scars are different colors depending on what ones you pick. So let's say your cat has an eye scar and a nose scar. It's kind of odd that the one scar is, this just looks like it's white, which is weird because when I was playing around with this earlier, they looked more pink. It might just be because I'm using an orange cat, so it looks a little different. And then like the nose scar is a more like dark skin, pinkish color. So that's odd. They should probably either give you a slider yet again so that you can pick the color. It should automatically, or it could automatically default to the nose color you had people pick, or have all of them be the same color would probably be the easiest option. But like, that seems like a little bit of an oversight. You're a young warrior. You haven't seen the battlefield just yet. And then here at the end, you have a nice little selection of locations that you could put your character in. And they're all based on the different clans. So Thunder Clan's got these trees. And River Clan, the River Clan one I find kind of odd with these like mountains in the background of the river. I wish it was just more Riverland and maybe some like fronds, but like that's getting super nitpicky. It's a nice color palette. The Wind Clan one I really like, which is good because it's Wind Clan. So I think this one looks super nice. The Shadow Clan one I also find kind of weird because I'm not sure if the white area is supposed to be like snow or if it's supposed to be like wet marshland. And I also find the composition a little weird. But again, that's being more nitpicky. The Sky Clan one is super cute. I like that the little minifig is up on a tree branch. That's cute. And then there's Star Clan. I wish that the trees in the background of Star Clan weren't barren, considering Star Clan's supposed to be like this lush hunting ground. So I think that was, again, a little bit of an oversight. But overall, I think these backgrounds are pretty cute. And then if you just want a plain old base, you can do that too, which is great if you want to use this to just be like a reference for whatever reason. So there's one cat. Now let me kind of speed through the rest of these and we'll see how well the character looks by the time I'm done. Okay, Stonepaw. Okay, I found a problem. Because this slider works with Roy G. Biv colors, it makes it really difficult to find a nice gray color because all the colors are super saturated. Let's see if we can... Okay, so if you want a character that is gray, your options for gray are pure gray, like pure desaturated gray. Which isn't the end of the world, because a lot of people do use pure desaturated gray, like black to white gray, for their characters. But for me, personally, I am a basic bee. And I like adding a little bit of a tint to the colors. That way they feel like they fit more into their environment. So I guess Stonepaw is gray. This, I guess, is going to be the closest we're going to get. Get rid of those. Bye. Stonepaw has a little pink nose. Well, see, but Stonepaw only has a lighter chin, and there's no option for that, so I guess we'll just leave him plain. Wind Clan. Okay, that's the closest I could get to Stonepaw. Obviously, we're missing a lot of his defining characteristics, and that's just because, like, this mini maker doesn't have a whole lot of specialized options, which, you know, I would be hard pressed to make any of my characters exactly in a lot of makers, but, you know, I could get a lot closer in some others. Alright, next on my list is... There's no way the mini maker's gonna be able to do this one. Kestrel Snap. I guess we'll go with this pose. Oh, where do I even start with this one? Okay, no, I think we're gonna have to go with the... Yeah. Let's go with that. Ooh, I just found another thing I don't really care for. The way that these line up together makes it look like there's a layering issue with the line right there. Just something to note. Oh, poor Kestrel Snap. That's the closest I could get. Oh, man. Yeah, so there's really some limitations when it comes to this mini maker, and calicos are just kind of straight out of the equation. My best bet here was to try and get at least as many colors of her that I could to be recognizable by doing the blue-gray base, the brown for the stripes, and then the creamy white for this muzzle area underneath. But it just looks so off considering that like this color and then this chest fur color isn't the same. I really wish that you could edit this chest fur color. Oh, there we go. Kestrel Snap. I'm sorry. This was not designed for you. Okay, next is Frozen Paw. I guess this one suits her better. We have another gray cat on our hands, so she's got to be pure gray. Let's make her a lighter gray. I suppose this one. Alright. So that's Frozen Paw. Honestly, not too shabby, I think. Like, I don't, like, Lilyfire, I think, so far has been the closest, but there's only so much you can do when, you know, like, you're dealing with something that's, like, an actual, like, character design versus, like, trying to make a Flash game, like, make that. So, like, this one's passable, I think. Still not necessarily recognizable as the character, but, like, it's got some elements to it. Alright, last on the list of Cloud and Moon characters is Blue River. Definitely gonna go with this one. She's another gray cat, but blue is literally in her name, so we're gonna try and make this work. Alright, that's the closest I could get to Blue River. I had to basically use the exact same stuff I did for Frozen, which isn't great. Like, they're family, so, like, I guess... yeah, they look similar. Again, I just really wish that I could edit, you know, this fur color here. And I just really don't like that there's the limited options for so many different types of stripes, but like they're all just striped cats. And it's kind of just like the same thing 6 times. You also just don't have any options for, like, you know, doing different, like making basic stuff, like making sure the ears are the same darker color and, you know, making paws the correct color that they should be. When that's usually something that's pointed out in the books for characters to have distinguishing traits like that. Also, the slider for grays and trying to get a hue of a correct dark gray or a hue of a gray color is super difficult to do, and like I get these blues, man. Okay, but all of those were my OCs, or at least Cloud and Moon's OCs. So maybe the problem isn't necessarily that you should be trying to make your OCs with this maker. Maybe you should just be trying to make warrior cats from the books. Because, you know, we can get a little crazy with our OCs. So let's maybe not think of this as an OC maker. Maybe let's think of it as a maker for, you know, warrior cats from the books. So now I have randomly selected, and yet again, these are random. I did not try and pick out like ones that I think it would be difficult for the maker to make. Randomly picked out characters from the books. I tried to pick out characters that had quite a bit of a description to them. So like if I got somebody who was only mentioned in like Code of the Clans and they call them like Cream Tabby, you know, and like that's the only description we have of them, I skipped them. They didn't count for the randomizer. So my first pick on this is Crooked Star, which I find interesting because obviously we're going to have some issues portraying that it is Crooked Star. And Crooked Star isn't really a fair character to judge any maker by because most, you know, Flash makers like this would have a hard time putting that specific element into their Flash game. So let's see what we got here. Crooked Star is a huge light brown tabby tom with green eyes and a twisted jaw. I think I started with the wrong base. So that's about as close to a Crooked Star as I feel I could get. Honestly, like, I think this would be pretty recognizable as Crooked Star, especially since they have the little option for the mouse scar. Like, I think that comes across pretty well. So we're on a good start for warrior cats, especially considering how specific of a character design Crooked Star is. Okay, so the next one was Yellow Fang. Again, I think that this reads pretty well as Yellow Fang. The biggest problem, of course, is that Warrior Cats has a lot of gray cats, and so it's kind of hard to tell them all apart. But like, I think there are actually enough options in this mini maker that you can make Yellow Fang, like, pretty convincingly. So that's 2 for 2. This one's supposed to be Crowfeather, and I just kind of feel like making a jab of like, oh look, that's exactly what he looks like in the cover of the Crowfeather's trial book where he has a white muzzle for some stupid reason. Another thing I notice I keep getting hung up on is which one is supposed to give me the color for the nose. And like, obviously when I look at this, I should be able to see like, oh no, this is the weird beard you can give your cat, and so this is the slider for the beards, and then this is like the slider for the nose. But every single time, I swear, I go in and I click on this one thinking, oh yeah, I want to change the nose color, and then I change it, and then I get some funky fresh beard like this. Alright, Crowfeather. I'm honestly, and this could just be because I'm the biggest Crowfeather stan ever, I honestly don't feel like this is a really good depiction of Crowfeather. It just looks like a black cat, and like, Crowfeather's like a dark gray tom, and like, it just doesn't really look like him, but maybe I'm being picky at this point. I also don't like how the pupil is lighter than this dark, like, pure black outline that they give the eyes. I like that the eyes have a pure black outline. I wish it was like the same dark color that would be around like the rest of the minifig, and the pupil color should match that as well. It's weird that they're this gray color. I don't know. Crowfeather's passable, but like, just barely. I don't think he's super recognizable as him. Okay, next is Spotfur, which is a character I don't have a whole lot of like visual reference, like just stored in my head from years of being a part of the Warriors community, because she's a fairly new character in terms of Warriors goes. So I actually have to look her up on the wiki a bit. Okay, so Spotfur is a gray and white spotted tabby she-cat with blue eyes. So see, I always imagined her as more of a yellow cat. But okay, I guess she's gray and white. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to go with this basic bitch gray. Another thing I'm noticing is that depending on what model you pick, you get different options for your stripes. I didn't really notice how different these stripes were until I looked at it here. Because like this one, you actually can make the character's paws white, which I like. I just wish that was an option for the other pose as well. I'm gonna give Spotfur a scar because she's cool. I guess that's Spotfur. Again, because Warrior Cats has so many gray tabby cats, I wouldn't trust anyone to look at that and go, oh yes, that is Spotfur. You know, I might... They could guess any number of cats before they landed on Spotfur looking at this. Like, I mean, they could even assume it's Bristlefrost, who's from the exact same set of books. So, yeah, I would probably give this one a fail. But it could also be on part that there's just not a whole lot of images that pop to mind when thinking of Spotfur. Like I said, when I started this one, I thought she was a yellow cat. So, last one. Another gray cat. Echo Song. We landed on a lot of gray cats, but that just proves my point. There's a lot of gray cats in Warriors. Okay, so the last one. Echo Song. Again, I think she could be confused with any number of gray tabbies in the Warrior Cats universe. Like, I could see someone looking at this and going like, oh look, Silverstream. Feathertail. Who's to say what gray tabby cat is Echo Song and what gray tabby cat is Silverstream when you've got as limited of options with this as we've got. But one thing that this has proved is that for the most part, this seems much better at making canon warrior cats than it is at making OCs, which isn't a surprise. Overall, I still think that this maker has potential. I think that a lot of people in the fandom would really love to see this kind of thing expanded upon. If it was just given more options. There's a lot more options you can find online of free makers that people have just kind of done in their free time that give you a lot more options than this. And it's, again, cool that the Warriors website has put something like this together, but I just don't see a whole lot of people in the fandom using this as compared to other things that they could find off the site. It would also be, of course, really, really nice to get some options for calico cats, or even just cats that have spots instead of stripes. And on a final note, I really wish that whoever's doing the Warrior designs over on the Warriors team would either pick whether they want to go with a more realistic style for Warrior Cats or this more cute chibi look. Warrior Cats brand right now, with a lot of the merch, feels like it's kind of trying to float in between being realistic and chibi cute, and it makes things look a little bit more uncanny and unpolished rather than looking like a cohesive brand. And I think that the realism angle does suit Warrior Cats, but when it's not done really well, it looks cheap. And if they just kind of leaned into this more chibi look and simplified things down a little bit, I think they'd actually get a much cleaner product, which I think would work much better for a little game like this. I actually wouldn't mind if they ended up like making it so that you could print and buy your own like actual physical mini vinyl of whatever you created in here. I think that would be kind of cool, even if it had like a premium cost to it. Like obviously you wouldn't have to do that, but it would be pretty cool to print your own versions of these, which would make it more understandable that they have a limited, like such a limited amount of options. But as it stands, it's kind of like, well, why are you limiting it to so little if I can't even get a physical version of this? So I would really like to see this either make it so that people can either print them and have an excuse as for why it's so limited, or make it more expansive so that people in the community who do make a lot of warrior OCs could actually use this. Because it is a neat idea. Anyway, enough of my rambling. I just wanted to give some thoughts on this since this dropped today. I don't know when this video will be out. I'll try to edit it as quickly as possible. But I hope you are all having a good week. And I will be back soon with more Drawing a Blank. And have a very wonderful holiday season. Bye-bye.